No spouses were harmed in the filming.
in the making of this brand.
I related to that very, very strongly.
But it was an evolution. Originally, it was about a podcast. Like you said, unofficially, we've been coaching couples for a very long time. And then it was like, we met with ET in San Francisco and saw the group there, and not as a business meeting, but it was like as a conference. And we came out of that. And I was like, let's just do a podcast. Let's reach more couples. We feel like we had been blessed and gone through some stuff. And the reason that we had gone through it was to really act as a guide, if you will, for other couples. And so let's reach more individuals.
Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. You can go to our website at them4show.com, our Instagram at them4show, and our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making.
And welcome to the M4 Show.
Since our last time that we talked, I started my master's program. So
come on, slight flex. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. So, on a daily, I'm trying not to take everybody's head off in the house.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
Fight the good fight over there, sir. Fight the good fight.
Wow. They drive me crazy, but it's okay. It's all good,
Diaphragm.
Yeah. No, well, now that, thank you, Sinclair. Something else that she's going to help me with. So, yeah, that's all good.
Yep. So I want to kind of jump into it. This is a question that has been new to the rebranded podcast that I try to ask as many people as possible. And the question is, do you believe every what's funny, Queen?
I know the way it's coming. I like the way you answer it, the way you ask it is like, that we disagree on this.
yes, we do disagree on this answer. Do you believe that every family / couple should have a business? What is y'all's take on it as individuals or as a couple?
That every family should have a business?
Yes.
No.
We got another one, folks. We got another one.
I don't. I mean, I think that because we share blood and we're family, that people think that we're supposed to do certain things. And no, I just don't, because just because I got your blood doesn't mean that you're a good partner for me, that we even like each other. You know what I'm saying? So no.
So, so I'm a yes and no. I don't believe that
yes or no, baby. You can't do both.
I can be yes and no.
See, that's what I go through. Go ahead.
The Gemini answer is no, I do not believe that every couple should have a business together. But yes, I do.
Family, not just a couple.
Okay, well.
I'm sorry.
And no, but yes, I do believe that every couple or family should have a brand.
What's the difference? Educate folks. What's the difference between a business and a brand?
You can have a business that can be extremely generic. Just because you have a hamburger business or a restaurant business, there should be a brand. The brand speaks to what's unique about that individual. People should be able to see the brand and have an idea. It should emote something, right? It should give them some kind of feeling. When I say that, for instance, when I talk about Married into Crazy, we want people to understand that when we talk Married into Crazy, that it stands for something. There's 5 pillars. But we want every family, when they hear about Declare, when they hear about, your family, they should know that you stand for something. Your brand should stand for something. And that's what I believe in. I believe that every family should have a brand that stands out, that enters the room before you do. But having a business together, that's a completely different thing.
Got you. I like the added value of the brand in there. That wasn't a part of the discussion before, but I like that every family should have a brand. People should know you for something. You should have your values that are put out into the world. I'll get that. Now, but both of y'all said no to the business, though. In my opinion, just speaking it, I think families should have a sustained way of creating wealth for themselves, whether that's for real estate, whether that's stocks, whether that is a fashion brand or a podcast show. As like, as families, we're constantly making economic decisions all the time, right? So why not just have a business together? That way we can take advantage of tax deductions together. We can take advantage of group economics together. That is my strong stance.
And I have initially was kind of strongly like, no, it's just not for everybody. But I think after we hashed it out on one of our episodes, I landed on, I don't know that every family or couple needs to start a business outside of their household, but I do believe that if you don't have a business, your household should be run like a business, if that makes sense. So like you have income coming in, you have expenses, you have goals, you have a 5-year plan, you have a way to pass that household wealth down to your kids, right? I do think that should be in place, even if it's just your household family expenses. I think it's important to like get folks involved, get your kids involved, right? And be able to have a sustained, a systematic way to pass down wealth within your family. So in that sense, like your household almost should be a business. And I do think that every family should operate in that way. But yeah, I don't necessarily think that every family needs to go out and like start a podcast or run a restaurant or anything like that. But I do feel like even if you don't, that you can still run your family or run your household as a business.
I like that.
Like both of them.
Look, we're gonna get right back into the amazing podcast. But if you didn't know, in 2017, we created Black Wall Street, the board game, because we thought more families needed to know about the history of Tulsa Black Wall Street. More families needed to know about the legacy of Black excellence left behind of Tulsa Black Wall Street, that we can own a Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Salon. We can have a Booker T. Washington High School. We can have an Uncle Steve's Barbecue. We can have a Renaissance man like Simon Berry, who had his own taxi service and bus service that got bought out by the city of Tulsa. We have brilliance in our DNA. We wanted to make sure that your family can play a game that teaches them about this brilliance. So we have Black Wall Street, the board game, right here. We had the first edition available in 2017. That got sold out. We're on the second edition right now, or you can get the beautiful masterpiece version of the game as well. It's up to you. Head to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself Black Wall Street, the board game, to empower you, your family, and generations to come. Playblackwallstreet.com. Let's get back to the episode.
They both make sense, actually, so good job.
Thank you. 5 points for Gryffindor over here. We'll take it. We'll take it. So y'all as a family and as a couple have decided to start a brand and a business. Can you kind of talk through your early mindset to why y'all wanted to kind of even go on this entrepreneurship journey together? Well, she looked right at you. She said,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Lovey he's the guy that he's like, hey, let's do this and we should do a business. He's very entrepreneurial and in his way of thinking. Me, I was more on the consumer side. He's like, no, we need to change that type of thinking. So it was really his idea more than mine, to make it an official type of business. We've always, as far as like with Married into Crazy, what we do coaching. It's always been more unofficial. We've, talked with couples throughout our marriage, and but he was just like, no, we know what we're doing. We finna do this, and do the podcast and blah blah blah. And I just was like, oh, okay. I ain't gonna say I was yipping and skipping to do it. And practically pulling me by my hair, you know, almost caveman style to get it going. But
no spouses were harmed in the filming.
In the making of this brand.
I related to that very, very strongly.
but it was an evolution. Originally, it was about a podcast. We, like she said, unofficially, we've been coaching couples for a very long time. And then it was like, you know, we met with ET in San Francisco and saw the group there, and not as a business meeting, but it was like as a conference. And we came out of that. And I was like, you know, let's just do a podcast. Let's reach more couples. We feel like we had been blessed and gone through some stuff. And the reason that we had gone through it was to really act as a guide, if you will, for other couples. And so let's reach more individuals. The podcast grew with no monetization insight or in mind, went from that to let's coach. And then it went to, okay, from coaching, then it became, oh, we can do clothing off of the logo and the branding. And then it was, no, we can teach further. We can have an evergreen. So it really began to evolve, but it started with with the brand. The brand was, we have a purpose. And from that purpose, the trunk, if you will, then the branches began to grow.
Yeah. So how did you, because I love the kind of like the slow progression of let's do a podcast, let's grow our pillars. And then from there, we'll eventually get into monetization. So trying to make it, you know, functional and applicable for other couples watching this, how did you determine what your tree trunk was, what your brand was, and how you stumbled upon, you know, Married into Crazy and those 5 pillars? How do you go from we're a couple, we're individuals, this is what we stand for, to transforming that into a brand?
I wish I could say that there was a very calculated methodology to it.
yeah.
But, you know, honestly, it was our calling called us. It was, we had a calling. And you know what? It's about being your true, authentic selves. There was a calling on our spirits, and we answered that calling. And from that calling, things developed. But it had to have a sense of authenticity, and we had to be true to what God was calling us to do.
Yeah. Kind of like Lovey said, there was, on my perspective, there was no one certain thing that happened, and we had like, okay, now we, you know, it was just like maybe some aha moments, like, oh, okay, it was just something innately dropped in our spirits, mine anyway. And then we you know, took that path. Okay, so we're here. Oh, maybe that makes sense. Okay, well, let's do that. Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Let's do that. So
we do believe it was divine, because we didn't sit down and say, okay, you know, we want to start a business. We need to do something for the family, and let's build a business plan. Oh, you want to do this? No. You want to do this? No. It wasn't a checklist. It was just that there's a calling. We wanted to bless others, and it enriched us in the process to work with other couples to help them, because we love doing that. And then as that happened, other things were revealed, like, oh, have you ever thought of this? And a lot of what we do now, the monetization pieces, it wasn't necessarily our idea. It was clients or people that we worked with, like, have you guys thought about doing this? Because we do that, we buy that, and like, oh, yeah, okay,
no, I never thought of it. So,
we'll do that then, you know. And as long as, I mean, there were some ideas. There's some stuff that we didn't implement, but the things that made sense that weren't a far stretch from what we were doing, it's an add-on. It's not our main focus. Is always staying true to the covenant of marriage and building. And then if these other things augment our main focus, then we evaluate it and decide whether or not we want to add it.
Thank you for supporting the M4 show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening. Go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.